Hey y'all, and welcome to today's video. We are going to be talking about eyeshadow palettes today. I love talking about eyeshadow palettes, so this is going to be super duper fun for me. This tag was created by Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner, so I will have her channel listed down below for y'all. Definitely go check her out. She loves eyeshadow just as much as I do. I think you'll really enjoy her content, and I will also put these questions in the description box too, and I would love to hear your answers. I thought this was fun. I love talking about palettes. I love tag videos. I like to talk about makeup. So we're gonna have fun today. And if you're new here, I wanna say, hey, my name is Heather and makeup makes me happy. Here at my channel, we don't try to be perfect. We just want to have a good time with our makeup, whatever that means. I do upload lots of new videos every single week, so I hope that you will subscribe before you leave today. But we have a list of questions to get through, palettes to talk about, so let's jump into it. Okay, so let's just get straight into the questions. It says, what was the most innovative release of the year? And I really thought about this one because I'm like, innovative? What was innovative? And I try so many eyeshadow palettes. There's also a lot that I don't buy because there's new makeup coming out constantly. So I really was thinking, like, what was something that was kind of fun and different this year? And I really loved Lunar Beauty's Advent Calendar idea. I mean, I like the palette. I think this packaging is super cute. It doesn't really match the color story inside, but Lunar Beauty said this was going to be a fall color story, and I think they did that. What I think was super innovative about this is we see advent calendars come out all the time, and usually I'm not interested in advent calendars. It's usually like sample size products or products that the company has had around for a long time. So it's just never something that really appeals to me. But when I saw that Lunar Beauty was doing an advent calendar and it was 12 days, and how it worked was you got the advent calendar and you got this empty palette that was like arranged for pans, and then for each day you popped out, you got a different shadow. So for me, I did a video, you can watch my video on it, but I went ahead and took out all the shadows and I just arranged them how I wanted to. But I thought that was a fun concept for an advent calendar because you're getting 12 single shadows that make a pretty cohesive color story. You get to arrange them, and it was just a super fun concept. I would really like to see them do this again next year, or just something equally as fun. I think Manny really came up with a cool idea, and it was really exciting and really innovative. I've never seen another brand do that. If they have, you can definitely let me know, but I think it was super fun. Okay, the second question is the palette that surprised you the most. And I have to say it was the Strange and Unusual palette from Bella Beauty Bar. I have talked about this palette a lot on my channel. I absolutely love this one, and it was very surprising to me. When I saw this palette being teased on Instagram, I knew I wanted this palette. I'm like, I have to have this. I really liked this color story, and I mean, I love Beetlejuice, so I love the packaging, but I was like, that color story is super fun. So that's what really initially drew me to the palette. But then the shades inside, every single one performs beautifully. I have worn this palette so many times, and I love every single look I create with this one. So this one, I was so surprised at how much I loved it and how versatile it is. I mean, so many like multi-chromes, duochromes, extra sparkly shades. The mattes in here are really beautiful. This matte black with this green, purple, blue sparkle to it, I love. This shifty shade, like every shade in here is just very special and fun, and I feel like I never get bored when I create looks with this. So this one was the one that surprised me the most, and this was a new brand to me this year. This wasn't the first palette I tried from the brand, but I would say overall, this was my first experience this year with the brand, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I love this. Okay, the next one is the palette you regret buying, and I'm not going to spend too long on this because I feel like I've ranted and raved about my hate for this Game of Thrones Makeup Revolution palette so much. It's the laziest palette in the world. The map does not line up at all. Some of the shades inside have names. Most of them don't. I don't know why they bothered to name some shades and not other shades. It really angers me. And no, the names don't correspond to anywhere on the map. The map inside is also so unplanned, and this was just slapped together. And to collab with the show like Game of Thrones and to do something so incredibly awful really angers me. The shadows inside are okay. Like, they're fine. You know what I mean? They're not terrible quality. But that palette was $30+ I think. And I regret that purchase so much. Okay, the best collaboration. So, of course, this year I created a collaboration palette with ADEPT Cosmetics, but it's my favorite palette of the day, week, month, century, minute, hour, forever. You know, like, I worked on this palette, so it's going to be super boring if every time we talk about favorite palettes, favorite collabs, I'm like, mine, mine, mine. But just so you know, I love it. Like, of course I do. I worked my little honey off on that. ADEPT is one of my favorite brands, so of course I love that. So I decided, okay, what about, like, not creator collaborations? What's my favorite? So I have to give it to the Glamlight Scooby-Doo collection. They killed it. Really, the whole collection, the whole theming of everything, they just did such a good job. But since we're focusing on palettes, I have to say, these palettes, well, everything in the collection was $20 and under, and I think that's so cool that they did such a good price point. The packaging of this palette is also really elevated. You can feel like the texture here. The color stories inside both of these are gorgeous. I love that we have Scooby, Shaggy, and the villains represented in this collection. Just overall, super, super good. And yeah, that's the best collab, I think. Okay, for worst collab, I have to give it to the Urban Decay She-Hulk. I understand that She-Hulk has two forms, but this is She-Hulk, Hulk form, black hair, green, different shades of green, and this palette is incredibly beige. And I know so many people were like, well, that's for when she's not in She-Hulk form and she's just the lawyer. Okay, then you can get any beige palette ever at Ulta or Sephora or Walmart or Target or whatever. This, with the She-Hulk, we have all this green packaging and very few colors inside. I don't know why we don't have a good black. I don't know why we don't have at least 2 or 3 more greens. I don't know. This was just so, like, whoever did the packaging, give them a raise. Whoever did the color story inside should, I don't know, like, get some type of punishment. Like, they didn't do a good job. Best seasonal release, I have to give that to the Oden's Eye holiday palettes. These were amazing. Oden's Eye really outdid themselves with these. The Christmas Eve palette, amazing. I mean, look at this crazy over-the-top Christmas theming, this beautiful Christmas Eve nighttime color story. So beautiful. And of course, the Christmas Day palette we love as well. Like, they did a good job on this. They really did. I can tell they put a lot of thought and effort, not just into the packaging, not just into the color stories, but the textures, the formulas, the actual shadows inside are amazing. I really hope they give us something like this next year because I'm just so happy with these. And then I wanted to pull one from like a Halloween release too, and that's what I'm wearing today. It's Warms My Blood from Unearthly Cosmetics. I just did something super quick today, but I love this. I'm so happy. Unearthly said that they are going to bring this palette back. I was actually watching a live that Unearthly was doing over on Instagram, and they said this is going to come back. This was really good. Unearthly, I think, like, they really outdid themselves with Halloween. It was super fun, but this is my favorite. Okay, the next question is a palette that is still on your mind, and this one, I did a whole video on palettes I almost bought, and I'm still thinking about some of those palettes, specifically the Juvia's Place Coffee palette. I'm thinking about that one. Okay, next question is, what are you hoping to see next year? I'm going to go brand specific. I really hope that from Melt, we see some elevation in their formulas, their textures. I think they have great formulas. I really do. I really enjoy the things I have, but I would like to see them maybe experiment some more. I think, you know, they had the Gemini come back this year with the Gemini 2. They had their, like, Bad Side Zodiac collection, but I would just like something new and fun and different. I feel like that's what I really fell in love with Melt for, and I don't know, I just feel like they've been like a little behind. I feel like maybe they got a little comfortable, so I would like to see Melt bring some excitement in the new year. What don't you want to see more of next year? I don't want to see brands being predictable, like the Urban Decay She-Hulk palette. Like, I want to see Urban Decay doing some things that they used to do when they were exciting brand years and years ago. Yeah, especially like mainstream brands. I want to see them kind of like pushing the envelope. We saw that with Tarte's Maneater After Dark palette. They really kind of pushed themselves. It wasn't my absolute favorite palette, but it was a bit unexpected. And I hope for mainstream brands we see that, because I don't just want to see more of the same. Even with neutrals, you can produce some different textures. You can produce range in a neutral palette, and yeah, I just don't want to see boring things. Okay, the last question is, what are your personal goals to improve on next year? I always want to improve. I'm always trying to like analyze my content, my makeup, seeing like what can I do better, what should I stop doing, and I definitely want to keep improving. But I will say, like, a specific thing I want to do is try my hand at vlogging. Not all the time, but you know, maybe here and there. I would like to sprinkle in some vlogs on my channel. I posted a couple of vlogs this year when I was like going on different trips and stuff like that, but I think it might be fun to try to do that a little more, because I did enjoy like vlogging on vacations, editing. I thought that was super fun. So yeah, that's something that I want to maybe bring into 2023 with me. All right, y'all, those are all the questions. I think we talked about everything. I know this was a short and sweet video. I hope you enjoyed watching. I enjoyed answering these questions, so thank you, Annette, for coming up with all of these. It was super duper fun. I hope you're having a great day. I am having a great day, and I hope you are too. Please do subscribe before you leave, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye.